Hi, Nick Collier here. Hey, about 4 or 5 years ago, I went to this garage sale and this guy had stacked up in the middle of the garage about 30 of these old Army surplus 5-gallon, who knows what kind of container. It held maybe bullets or, something really crazy like that. But the guy was selling them for $1 a piece. And I was like, wow, I can't pass that up because these would make really great little wood stoves. And I really kind of had that in my mind at the time. And so I bought them. Now, it turned out that they were filled with grain from the 50s and 60s. Now, of course, all this grain's probably filled with DDT and all that other crap. But this is pre-GMO. This is an interesting thing. But so, I'm not as interested in the grain as I am in the actual can itself. So we're going to try to pour the grain out of there. It's in a plastic bag all sealed up. Been that way since who knows when. It looks like we've got wheat, of all things. Now, wheat turns out that it doesn't go bad. They've taken wheat kernels from the pyramids and sprouted them. So the wheat's pretty good. Now, so let's just have a look at this and see what it might look like as a little wood stove for, like, say, a trailer or a very small building, like, 10 by 15 or something like that. And there's a lot of those buildings up here in the woods, People move out onto land and they don't have the money to build a house, and so they build a little structure and they live in it for a couple of years till they can get the money to build a house. So anyhow, we've got this. And I actually, last winter, made 3 of these. And they came out pretty good. I'll give you a picture of that. And I just sold my last one just last week. And the guy called me back and he says, I want another one of those. And I went, okay. He says, but I want it next week. And I'm like, oh, well, I don't know if I can do that, because I was planning on making a bunch of them sometime in the next month or two. It's now late September, and I was thinking about, mid-November or so. And he says, well, I'm cold now. I want them now, and I'm willing to pay double for it. So I went, all right, that's fine. I'll do it. I'll do it by next week. So luckily, I still have the components of the old wood stove. As I said, I made 3 last year, and let me grab the components here. So I don't have to redesign the whole thing. I just kind of take these components and make them again. Now, you can imagine, here's the base of the wood stove, and this wood stove, by the time you get done, it weighs about 15 pounds, so it's pretty light. So I've set some bolt holes up for this so that it could be screwed into a floor so that it's good and solid. Now, this basically will sit on the platform like this, except that it's not strong enough to go from platform straight to the stove. I mean, it's a heavy-duty stove, but it's not that heavy-duty. So my intention was to set up a strap and then put the stove on the strap and go from there. Weld the strap to the base, and then do a series of spot welds on the strap that would make it stronger. Now, I also came in, and I want to change this design, and I made the door for it last year. This was one of the ones I made the door for. Notice how the door swings forward, so that's why the stove kind of has to sit back a little bit. Now, the cool part is the door is already made. All I need to do is copy the design and weld it back in, or weld it back together, using, you know, my other strap piece of material here. So, we're going to kind of get started. I got to cut, I bought some material yesterday, and I came in, so I've got to come in and cut a series of pieces for the two different straps here to create a fairly airtight surface between the door and the front plate. Whoops, that's right, that's not welded. So we're going to start cutting those on the bandsaw, and then also the collar that will go on the back of the stove, so that the stovepipe can go onto that, like that. And then the stovepipe, of course, goes right up through the ceiling. Now, that's pretty good. So, we've got all of our basic ingredients here. All I have to do is copy them. And I'll give you a break, and we'll come back when I got a bunch of stuff put together.